Hi, this is Alan, practitioner of traditional Japanese acupuncture of some 30 years clinical experience. Wanting to take a little bit of your time and explain a role that traditional acupuncture can play both in the prevention of cold and flus and also in the resolution of some of the deleterious symptoms that are experienced by people suffering from these conditions. I have treated hundreds and hundreds of people suffering colds and flus. One area that was of great interest and is of great interest to me is treating elite athletes. They push the envelope to the absolute max. As such, they can be vulnerable. Their immune systems can become compromised and they can be vulnerable to the onset of colds and flus as a result of physically and mentally being exhausted through their intense training regimes. In a nutshell, traditional acupuncture is an incredibly powerful tool if used at the onset of colds and flus. This is based on my clinical experience. I work currently working with Emma Snowsill, who is the current gold medal triathlete from the Beijing Games in her efforts to get to London in 2012. We had an experience last week where she came in and she was saying the throat was sore and itchy. She felt a little heady and a little funny in the nose and was feeling a bit lethargic and not herself and not training to an optimum. There is a specific form of treatment that we use when this happens. This is the very early onset. This is when the body is starting to, the immunity is starting to drop, the basic energy is starting to drop. Excuse me. She responded magnificently to treatment. Now, treatment, especially in the onset of colds and flu, is incredibly gentle. The needles barely touch the skin. There is no deep penetration whatsoever and absolutely no pain. This is guaranteed. And the efficacy level, in my experience, in my clinical experience, is tremendous. The strike rate is right up there. And I've worked with people from all walks of life, including Emma Snowsill, including elite football players here in the AFL competition, where they would come to me and will come to me when they're starting to get sick, and they understand that the appropriate treatment at the right time will be enough for them to regenerate and repower up their immunity, and it helps them to keep or maintain the high level of training required to perform at the elite level. And this applies to all forms, all individuals, like housewives, mothers. They've got to perform at an elite level every day. And it makes it much more difficult coming down with the cold, the flu, the aches, all of the symptomology involved with that, in my experience, can be incredibly effectively treated through the use of traditional Japanese acupuncture. Now, after the colds and flu have come in fact the person's unable to make it into clinic at the very earliest part of the onset of treatment, again, I've found that acupuncture expedites a very fast result in recovering from colds and flus. I've had people come to me who've had, one person comes to mind, Liesl Jones, again an Olympic gold medal swimmer who had had colds and flus and was suffering from terrible sinusitis, horrible earaches, which of course, being an Olympic swimmer and training to go to the Olympic Games, a terrible situation for her to be in. I couldn't think of a worse situation for an elite swimmer to have ear infection. 2 treatments later, ear infection was gone. She had had 3 courses of antibiotics, which had been for little or no effect. This is the power of judicious traditional Japanese acupuncture. I feel privileged to be able to deliver this type of treatment for people suffering from such a common syndrome. So I encourage you, if you have never heard of acupuncture being used for this, please try it. It's a very, very special, and the side effects are actually beneficial rather than deleterious.